If you watch or listen to these cleancasts on a regular basis, chances are you are a real leader in your organization. But chances are also very good that at some point someone in your company or in your family possibly can get some devastating news. Maybe somebody's contacted cancer or some other dreaded disease, and maybe the insurance is a little bit short and they need help. It's devastated their budget. And your people around you, people in your organization, want to help as well. If so, we invite you to explore a new way to hold a fundraiser, namely Pink Zebra, the leader in providing great fragrances for homes and offices. By having Pink Zebra as your next fundraising project, you'll get 40% of the sales made to help fund your project. The dollars can add up very quickly. Sound interesting? If so, call Barbara at 573-434-1822. That's 573-434-1822. And she will mail you information on how you can have Pink Zebra fragrances help you raise money for your next fundraising project. Or you can go to pinkzebrahome.com/the Zebra Group for more information on this exciting opportunity. Pink Zebra, the name to remember for your next fundraising project. Welcome to our Cleancast. Thanks for joining us today. I've entitled this session, Why Should Anybody Buy From You? Is that a good question, or is that one that aggravates you? You know, as I've traveled this country and into Canada, I make some enemies sometimes because as I do consulting work for companies, they want me to help them grow their business. They want me to help move their business forward. And that I'm always, I love to do that. But one of the things I always insist on when we begin our week together, or 3 days, or however many days I'm visiting, is I insist on at least 2 hours, and most of the time a half a day, with the management staff so that we can understand what kind of company it is that I'm working for. And the first question I always ask is, why should someone buy from you? And they all kind of look at me like, what are you talking about? What have you been smoking? Well, I usually get answers something like this. We've been in business 20 years, and that makes us one of the oldest companies in the area. My response to that is, longevity has little to do on success. Have you been in business 20 years, or have you been in business 1 year 19 times over? And I've heard companies say, we did it like that back in the 70s and 80s, and it was good enough then, it's good enough now. Wrong answer. But the fact that you've been in business a long time has really, doesn't get it. It just doesn't get it. Well, the next one I usually get, or another one that I get, is, we do the best job in town. My response is, everyone says that. Everyone says that. How do you prove it? How are you able to prove it to the customer before you start that you're the best job in town? You see, I can't imagine the contractor saying something like, well, we're not the best in town. That company that's been here 20 years is the best in town, but we're next. You see, everybody's going to say we're the best in town. The next one I get is, or one of them that I get is, we have trained personnel. My response is, really? Let me see your training area. As they hurry and scurry to dust off everything, let me interview your training director. They usually respond back with something like, we train on the job so they can see the work area that they're going to be in. In other words, little or no training is taking place. See, I have this saying that I've said, and you've heard me say it before, that if you do on-the-job training, you're setting yourself for on-the-job failure, because many times you're sending them out to, quote, learn the ropes with an experienced cleaner who hasn't been back for retraining for 5 years or 3 years or 1 year. So they've picked up their own bad habits, which they now send off to the new person, and you don't know it because you haven't checked their how they're doing it. So, really, you got good trained personnel. So by now, if they haven't fired me as their consultant, we go to the next step, and that is, what is it that makes your company really unique? Real, measurable quality. What is it? Is it quality training? I start throwing things out. What's your turnover rate in relationship to the industry? We have an industry average. I used to use 300%, 325, and I heard recently that it's 350%. So that if you have 100 employees, if you're average in this industry, you're going to make 450 W-2s next year. That's not acceptable. So I'll ask them, what is your turnover rate? How can we improve it? And if it's lower than average, what do you attribute that to? Can we build on that advantage? Do you have systems, processes that are friendly and usable by the customer? There's several of them out there now. I could name names, but you're getting some of those names in an advertisement prior to these CleanCasts. They have software that's customer friendly, that you can communicate with. Inspection programs that are unique to you. Do you have a customer call center? Call centers aren't used much today because everything can be used on the phone or on the laptop or the desktop. But do you have something that is unique in your company? If not, we need to design something. We need to develop what it is that makes your company unique and should be what I call the PPO, the Preferred Provider Organization. You should find what it is you do the best, and then let's work on it. So I always suggest to people that, when I'm there and working with them, that they identify a quality or qualities that they want to concentrate on, identify those, and I usually say don't work more than 2 of them at a time, and let's talk about the steps that we would take to do that. Number one, we need to discuss, or what I would tell them, we discuss how this company will benefit from focusing on those and develop those qualities. How will the individuals in this room benefit from that? And then how will your prospects and your customers benefit from those qualities? Are they qualities that set you apart from your competitors? And that's what we're looking for. What is different? Are you a me too, or are you different from your competitor? How will that set you apart? What special skills will you need to develop to advance these qualities? What training is going to be required? Now, this step is really critical in this whole process. What do you need to do to develop that, and who in the organization, who in this room needs to develop those qualities? Who's the one or ones that need to step up to the plate and get the training necessary? And then the next one, what are the major obstacles that you have? Is it cash? Is it short staff that you have to overcome? And then that you have to develop the qualities. Who are the people, the organizations maybe, that can help you develop these qualities? Like ISSA, BSCAI. There are others that, these organizations that can help you develop the qualities that you need. You remember my old saying of, if you spend 20 minutes a day reading and studying on things on your industry, in 5 years you can be an expert. From all of these discussions then that we've just had, we need to develop a plan of action. And that means assigning responsibilities. That means, making sure that you have checkpoints along the way. And so that you then decide on a date when you're going to be ready to announce to the world that this is what sets us apart from the rest of the competitors in this marketplace. But you need to go through that process. If your answers are like I said at the beginning, just we've been around, we do better, we have trained personnel, it doesn't matter, it doesn't get it anymore. See, everybody assumes you can clean, or you wouldn't be even invited to put in a proposal. What they want to know is, how do you manage the business? How do you manage your building service contracting firm? What sets you apart from others? Take stock. Ask yourself these questions. Get your management together. What makes us different? And why should anybody buy from us? What's the reason anybody should buy from us? Then develop it based on what we just talked about. Develop a plan of action that sets you apart from everybody else in the community. Try it. You'll like it. Thanks for joining us today.